Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're diving into how to build a genuinely great drip irrigation system. I'm talking about one that delivers water with absolute precision, saves a ton of resources, and really helps your crops thrive. And let me tell you, this isn't just about connecting some pipes, it's about smart, intentional design from the ground up. Okay, let's just start right here, because this quote really flips the script. We're so quick to blame a dry spell for water loss, right? But the real problem? A lot of the time, it's a poorly designed system. You know when one plant is getting flooded while the one next to it is bone dry? Well, that's not just inefficient. It's like having a slow, silent leak in your profits. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the real water problem, then talk about why you need to start with questions, not parts. We'll get into knowing your farm's foundation, creating a smart blueprint, picking the components that actually matter, and then we'll wrap up with the big mindset shift that pulls it all together.
And let's be really clear about this. A drip irrigation system is so much more than just plumbing. Think of it as a direct pipeline to your profit and your yield. Because by the time your crops are actually showing signs of water stress, the damage to your bottom line, yeah, that's already happened.
And this, right here, is the #1 mistake people make. It's so tempting, right? You see all the pipes and the filters and the emitters, and you start trying to piece them together like a puzzle, but you're doing it without even looking at the picture on the box. You're buying all the hardware before you even know what your farm truly needs. So, if you're not supposed to start with the parts, then where in the world do you begin? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple, but it completely changes how you approach irrigation. You begin by asking questions. See, a truly efficient system is built on information, not just on equipment. It's all about analysis first, and then assembly. Until you have the answers to these questions, buying any hardware is really just an expensive guess.
And these are the big ones, the non-negotiables. What are you actually growing? What kind of soil are you working with? Where's the water coming from? And just how much of it do you have access to? Believe me, every single answer here directly shapes the design of a system that's actually going to work.
Okay, so let's dig into that a little deeper. These three things, your crop, your soil, and your water source, they are the absolute pillars of your entire design. The system has to be tailored to them, not the other way around. I mean, it makes sense, right? A system designed for a tomato field is going to be fundamentally different from one for a mango orchard.
Just take soil type, for example. It dictates your whole irrigation strategy. If you've got sandy soil that drains super fast, you're going to need shorter, more frequent watering cycles. But if you have heavy clay soil, you've got the opposite problem. It can get waterlogged real easily. This one single factor, it changes everything about which emitters you choose and how you space them out. Now let's talk about your water source. First up is flow rate. The easiest way to think about this is like the capacity of your water supply. How much water can you actually push through the pipes at any given moment? This number is what determines how big of an area you can irrigate at one time.
And then you've got pressure. Pressure is the force that makes sure the plant at the very, very far end of the row gets the exact same amount of water as the plant right next to the pump. You see, without consistent pressure, you get an inconsistent system, and that means you're going to get an inconsistent yield.
Okay, so now that we've gathered all our foundational data, now we can get into the fun part, the architectural phase. This is where we actually draw up the blueprint for a system that's both super efficient and easy to manage. And the process really breaks down into 3 key steps. First up is zoning. You want to divide your land into these manageable sections. Think of them as zones. It gives you way more control. Second is the layout. You've got to plan the shortest, most practical routes for your pipes to keep pressure loss to a minimum. And third, and this one's a big one, is pipe sizing. And I can't stress this enough. Pipe sizing is not some minor detail you can just guess on. If your pipes are too small, friction builds up, pressure drops way down, and the plants at the end of the line just don't get enough water. This is the quiet failure point in so many systems. Uniformity is absolutely everything. So now that we have our blueprint all planned out, we can finally start talking about hardware. But see, the difference is, now your choices are being guided by your design, which means every single component you buy has a very specific purpose.
Your emitters have to match your crop and soil. And hey, if you're on a slope, you're going to need something called pressure compensating emitters. They're amazing. They have this tiny little diaphragm inside that delivers the same amount of water whether it's at the top of the hill or the bottom. Filtration, totally non-negotiable. Clogs will absolutely kill your system's efficiency. And pressure regulators and gauges, think of them like the dashboard of your car. They turn a mysterious system into something you can actually manage.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how of building a system. But honestly, the most important piece of the puzzle is the why. And that requires a really fundamental shift in how you even think about irrigation in the first place.
And this slide just says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you've got total chaos, tangled messes, constant clogs, dry spots right next to flooded spots. And on the other side, you've got control. You have planned zones, balanced pressure, and consistent, reliable delivery to every single plant. It's the same idea, but the results are worlds apart.
For so long, this has been the go-to question. And you know, it's a simple question, but it leads to simple and usually pretty inefficient answers. It focuses on just getting the task done, not on achieving the goal. This is the question that changes everything. It reframes the entire goal. You're not just watering anymore, you're doing precision delivery. It's about accuracy, it's about timing, and it's about efficiency. The moment you start asking this question, you start designing a system that really, truly works for you.
And the payoff for making that mental shift? It's huge. We are talking about better growth and stronger yields. We're talking about fewer weeds popping up because you're not watering the whole field. It means less time spent fiddling with the system, and of course, a massive reduction in wasted water, fertilizer, and energy.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Is your system just a way to move water from point A to point B, or is it a powerful tool for growth, for efficiency, and for profitability? Because a well-designed system doesn't just water plants, it actively moves your entire operation forward.